up deuces?
Yeah, I threw up. Oh.
You can't just throw up deuces.
Well, that was for Trevor and for Alan. They get it.
So we just finished a Google Hangout with Trevor and Alan, and Sandra and Eileen. We can't forget them, but we're all in the soul family, and it's just like hanging out with family, hanging out with them.
It's amazing what comes together when you actually go through this journey. It
is, but then when you get with Trevor and Alan, then you start throwing up deuces. I don't understand.
They get it.
You guys got a secret code or something.
Welcome to episode 18.
Episode 18.
The final frontier. Just kidding.
It is
There's
not
nothing final
frontier.
about this. This is insane.
It's life.
But, this is where reality gets a hold of everything else.
Well, no, it's just where the universe starts to have its way, and that's okay.
Well, but we also were going through a gigantic awakening. Yes, you go through the awakening by yourself. Yes, you go through all of the deep places that you've gone through inside yourself. Yes, you have to keep digging down and keep digging down, but while you're doing that, as you continue to do that, you start doing it together.
Mm-hmm. And then we ended our last video with Lee giving me the key, and I was sort of resistant, and I was really resistant because I knew that maybe it was too soon, and however, it just happened. And
do you guys want to know why I decided to give her a key and let her back in?
Sure, everybody's going like, what's the fuck?
Right. No, they really aren't doing that. They see the outcome, but I could see it then. I did a lot of work. Remember, I went through my pain and embraced my pain. The part of me that was final, but it was because she wasn't waking up. And there was no other outcome other than to go on and do me and do my life and make the choices that I had to make. Yeah, there was a lot of pain involved, but there's a deeper truth to what you're going to stand for and what you're going to lay down for. And when she started telling me her truth, that was home. I'd been waiting to be home for a very long time. It took me, I understood what it took for me to remove the conditions I had of myself by judging myself, attacking myself, making myself not worthy of this connection, making myself not worthy of any connection. Ooh, I like that.
I'm sorry.
I had to, ooh, the shift.
The shift.
That's what I'm referring to, the shift. The shift is when you stop running. The shift is when you get rid of your switches.
We're going to do a whole video
We're going to have
on
to
the
do a whole
switch.
video on the switch.
Because you guys asked for it, you're getting it.
It's
whole
coming.
video on the switch. I'm going to put up that little, that cool little switch. I'm going to do that.
So,
I am. Don't laugh at me.
What really strengthened everything was what we had to do internally. If you're noticing that what we've talked about the entire time is we're talking about the self-work that's involved here. That's a lot of work. And it's ugly work. And it's work that we all think we don't have to do for somebody to love us. But you don't even see the barrier of what you put in place when you don't do the work yourself. You don't allow anybody else to love you there either.
Let's throw this out there. If you're watching this and you haven't seen 1 through 16, don't watch this. Don't do that. Because we don't want to add any confusion to the already confusion that's in this whole twin flame dynamic world. Let us show you from the beginning to now what the truth is in our journey. And we don't want you to be confused on what the hell is happening here, because it's a confusing journey and it's pretty intense. Start from episode 1 and then work your way up, because our story is what, how many mountains did you say in the radio show?
1,200 fucking thousand.
You can't
bleep
say
that. Bleep
that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just
But there
extra
it was like you got through
work.
you got over one mountain, got to
You
the top,
can't
and
say
looked
the
over and
F
went,
word, Lee.
"We're about to be together." And then I fall down the freaking mountain, and it was just constant.
I have to bleep that out. Oh well.
You guys like her
So-
her editing, so hell, I can say a whole bunch of stuff from this point forward and all get bleeped out. Do you want me to go ahead and start
No,
now?
let's not.
Just kidding. No, you
Let's
really
not.
do a great job of editing.
I have fun making fun of you.
But here's where we want to go with this, because we
Let's
we
just
have to get back on path.
emphasize. Let's just start with episode 1, because I'm promising you, if you start now, you're going to be so confused, and you're going to be like, what is this guy doing, or what is that girl doing? So let's just start. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, I said shit, that you're starting now. That's all. So, in our last episode, Lee gave me the key, and to come to the condo that he had rented to bring this girl to that he was seeing. Okay, she was out of the picture. Her stuff was back where it belonged, and now we were together. This was an issue with me, and it shouldn't have been, but it was. It was a human emotion that was instilled in me that, wait a minute, this was meant to not be with me, but it is what it is. I came home and it felt like home. When I came in here, I had obviously spent time here. I had spent weekends here, and we had made it home.
Home is defined as where your heart belongs, not what you think you own or what you can acquire and what you can pay for. Home is where you know that you're accepted, you're loved, you're honored, you're respected. But we didn't do all that. We couldn't do it that easy. We had to really just...
We had to push it to a
we
whole
pushed
other
each
level.
other to a different level, because there was so much broken everything.
Yeah. And I moved in, and we had not really spent time enough in our truths to understand where each other was. The universe just said, here you go, deal with this. So I came in and had all my things here, and got Cameron together in his little bed, and the girls together and their stuff, and the boys had them a little space here. But then when we were by ourselves, it started getting pretty, I'm going to say that we were having intense fellowship.
She's sugarcoating the shit.
I am sugarcoating.
There was nothing pretty
I am
about
sugarcoating
the
it.
following events that took place. We fought.
This isn't 24.
The following took place between the hours of whenever it started to when it ended, and it was ugly. We beat each other up over
arguments.
You used the last toilet paper roll. You ate the last cereal piece. We beat each other, and we beat each other up over the crap that we had gone
Hair in
through
the shower.
for the years.
You didn't make the bed. You didn't put the dishes away. Then it became deeper. Then it got to be with, who are you talking to on the computer? Why are you spending so much time at the pool? Why are you hanging on the phone so much? This is before we had one cell phone. We had 2 cell phones. Let me see your cell phone. It
was intense. It was so 3D and so ridiculous. Because the thing was, is we had to go through this. We had to beat each other into a submission of some kind to understand that our egos were completely activated in the pain that we were in. Then it started to become, the fights didn't just escalate from one level. They kept escalating and they kept getting worse and they kept getting, you get out. I'm leaving. I was going to leave my own place. That's how upset I started to get.
I would walk out, stay outside for like 2 hours. We had threatened to call the police.
Oh yeah. It was
you fell out on the floor once.
You know what? It was bad.
It happened.
But here's the thing.
Tables were turned.
Furniture was flipped around. It was intense. Yeah. But the things is, these things were already in us. This wasn't about this. It was about these things that were in us. All the pains came out. The pain of what happened to her when she was younger. The pain of what happened to me when I was younger. The pain that we endured. The pain we inflicted on other people. All of it came to a head. It had to come to a head.
Things that were going on with the kids. That's very important. We have 6 between us. And then there's Cameron. He's kind of between us.
Well, Cameron's 6.
He's
part of the 6.
Right. He's part of the 6. But he's kind of special. Anyway, and then there was my daughter who was my middle daughter who was not speaking to me, who hadn't spoken to me in a while. And she had come back into our lives and she was spending time with us and spending time here. So when she was here or when any of the other kids were here, we were putting on this act.
Well, role play. We all do that as parents. When we're in pain, we end up not even realizing that the kids can feel that energy. Yeah. And they can. Mm-hmm. And then it became very real to us.
But I was trying everything I could to stand in my truth. But I was trying everything I could. We were struggling to be honest with one another.
I wasn't struggling
Not struggling to be honest, but struggling to maintain that. Here's where it was. Here, I see you. Let me explain this. There was so much trust broken that standing in my truth, he was still like, yeah, really? Right? So now you're all of a sudden telling me the truth? And so it became an argument. So I was struggling to maintain, this is what I'm serious. I'm standing in my truth. I don't give a shit. I'm standing here. Yeah, right, Sherry. And here's this, and here's that. And it looks like the same shit that was happening months ago. And it became back and forth when I was doing the same thing. Yeah, right? Really? Come on now. It looks like the same shit that was happening before. And we were doing that to one another. And there were times of such connection and such bliss and so much home. Yeah. There was times of such passion and connection. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is where we're supposed to be. And you were working hours.
The dreams started coming.
The dreams started coming, and they were incredible.
We knew that we were going to be talking to millions of people and telling them the truth because they couldn't hear the truth before. Us, me, her, were infected with all the lies of what we've experienced and didn't understand what true love was about. We've been shown a picture, but never the truth.
It was the oddest thing waking up and saying, I had this dream about this place, and you were standing on this stage, and you were like, oh my God, was I wearing this, and was I wearing that, and was you wearing this? And we had the exact same dream.
We knew. We knew.
Who does that?
But here's the thing. It was very difficult at that time because I was like, I can't go out and tell people this happened. I mean, the ego is still very much activated because here we are fighting each other with ego. Mm-hmm. We're fighting each other with our minds based in this trapped thought process that this person is going to do nothing but annihilate me. Mm-hmm. You've heard us talk to you. We've heard you tell. Yeah. We've told you every single thing we've done. We didn't hide anything. We didn't sugarcoat anything.
Mm-mm.
Trust us. That now created a thought process in both of us that we were now infected with. And we had to look at each other and go, yeah, I trust this person. No. What ended up happening was the most beautiful thing I could ever tell you about. Because there was this breaking point where we were in this serious, serious fight. And I remember it. I remember sitting on the couch, and I remember we both just finally just caved in and just cried and held each other and cried, and
Just
it was
done.
but we didn't let each other go.
Yeah.
And then over the next few weeks thereafter, we were talking to each other in such a way that we weren't sugarcoating or hiding shit. If she had a thought that said, "Yeah, that was kind of selfish of you," I mean, she said it. She didn't hold back anymore. And now my ego was not as active as it was. What would happen if we held each other through our pain? Kind of hard to look at it that way because we're so busy making somebody else responsible for our pain. What would happen? Well, just like the healing we did by ourselves, where we spent the dark night of the soul, we cried like crybabies, and we were just going into the depth of it and saying we don't want to be here no more, and we were ready to commit suicide. What happened if you had that with two people sharing that same very feeling? Wouldn't bliss be the only place you could go?
Yeah.
Well,
The ugliness started getting better.
beautiful.
Beautiful. There it is.
Better
The
kind of.
ugliness started getting beautiful. We started dreaming the same dreams.
A lot.
A lot. And it's funny to me because when we tell people that, and friends and family, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you can resonate with this, that you're just crazy, you're batshit crazy, you can't do that, that's impossible. We're here telling you that it's possible, it happened to us, it still happens to us.
A lot.
The exact same dream in detail. And I can remember a time where he said, "And were you wearing this?" And yeah, I was wearing that. And then there was a lake, and the details doesn't matter. What matters is we were dreaming the same things. And
Can I add something?
you add whatever you want.
Okay. What's interesting about these dreams versus the dreams before, I'm going to take you back to episode 15, Kaylee. Was it 15, 16? Kaylee.
15, maybe.
15. Before we dreamed of our daughter that we would bring into this world would be doing this very thing, teaching about an ultimate connection, teaching about being connected in general across the planet and creating such a healing. So we knew that we were supposed to have a child that would do the very things that we thought were going to come into the world. We knew that we would create the next Walt Disney. We could feel it. But that dream had stopped. So the dream had altered its course. So now we were dreaming what we were supposed to be doing is coming out here and telling people, yes, we set each other on fire. Yes, we pointed guns at each other. Yes, we actually blew holes in one another. Yes, we did what you could think is the unthinkable to the other person. And we're still together. And we love each other more than love has ever been able to show anybody. Because we found a place inside where we can love ourselves. And we changed it globally. Universally. We didn't have any roadmap. We didn't have anybody teaching us how to do it. We didn't have any coaches saying, this is what you do. We didn't have any of that shit.
Lucky you guys.
You're
right.
The thing is how is somebody going to teach you how to go inside yourself and heal you to be in connection to true love? Just the same way as they taught you how to be happy from the time you went to kindergarten all the way to grade 12. What about college? Did they teach you how to be happy there too?
It's happily ever after. Who teaches you happily ever after?
It's
not,
funny.
Not any of the movies, because it says they lived happily ever after.
Ever after.
What the hell happened afterwards?
Let's talk about after.
Okay.
After. Okay, so everything we do here in human is time-based. This connection is not.
Timeless.
Say it again.
Timeless.
I'm sorry, they couldn't hear that.
Timeless.
So how are you going to be in a
I have
connection?
no singing voice.
I actually love your voice. But here's the thing. How are you going to be in a connection if you're time-based and the connection is timeless? Go ahead, we'll wait. We got plenty of time.
What are we going to do in this moment?
Okay, so
let's get them moving.
okay.
So this is what happened.
The dismantling of the switch.
The dismantling of the switch. It's coming. Quit complaining. We're getting the video done.
Well,
we're gonna do the switch video.
okay.
We dismantled the switch.
Switches.
And then things began to fall into place around here. It began to be a beautiful place to be. We were spending so much time.
Oh, your niece came.
With family.
Mm.
My sister got married. My daughter was really spending some time with me. I've got 3 daughters, but this particular daughter, and you know who I'm talking about because I know you're watching.
The doppelganger.
and I love her to death, but she knows she's the mini me, and she looks like me. And if you're on my Facebook, you know who she is. And but she was coming around, spending some serious time with us, and our lives were together. We were together, and we were, doing okay. And then
they couldn't believe the connection.
Yeah,
because they were still like, how are you two
and they still think we're batshit crazy, and that's okay.
Well, you know what? Here's what
that's okay.
I used to believe. I used to believe what she believes now. I've seen the progression. It changes the phrase stand by your man or stand by your woman or what true love truly has to give you. They've watched us put each other through it. And they realize that there's something different
There's
about...
not a dog in the frame. There was not a dog in the frame.
Okay. They noticed that there's something different. And I think all of you have noticed it at this point. It's not about... Let's go ahead and take the name and put it out there. The name doesn't exist in what we want to say. Our journey is our journey. One flame got lit, leaned against the other flame, and that flame got lit. Anything else aside from that is the truth. This has nothing to do with perception or reality or words or anything else. But what you do have inside of you is that one flame that lights and shines brightly. Whether or not you want to figure out how bright it shines is up to you. We figured out that when we put ours together, we created something very blue.
So, we began to live our lives in peace.
Well, there wasn't peace when we got in that bedroom.
Oh, this is a family show.
Hi, family.
So, can't take him anywhere. I know. You've heard Alan's voice all day.
Jesus Christ.
Way to go, Alan. Alan Spear, thank you. Make that face. You
KKFM. Just kidding.
Yeah, you can find Alan Spear on KKFM in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Twin Flames, Divine Fire. By the way, their video is awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing.
We're so proud of you both.
We are.
But we're going to go ahead and go deep for a minute.
Here's where things get really silly. A lot of times, no, every time, you feel like you're at the place where you need to be. And it is not what the universe is needing from you or wanting from you. The universe has a way of picking you up and putting you where it wants you. And
I experienced that because I lost my job.
and yes, Lee had lost his job in the midst of all this arguing and
not
fighting.
lost. I should say
Yeah,
they did whatever they were going to do.
They did away with his job or outsourced it or something. I don't know what
they did away with my job.
Yeah. You don't have a position anymore because that position doesn't exist.
That could be videos.
Type of thing.
We'll just go there.
And right. So he's on unemployment. We really need to do something with Relationship Reinvented.
And I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
And
because we know what our mission is. And the universe is telling us, tell people the truth. Tell people your story. Tell people the truth. Help people.
I want to do that.
Talk to people. Do seminars.
They're not going to accept it.
Okay. So we just started this little thing. And started this little group. And that's all that was happening. Lee was on unemployment. There was a night when me and my youngest daughter and my middle daughter, the one, well, let's just refer to her now from here on as the one. The one. And I love you, the one. But the one said, I thought you were being honest with me with everything. And I said, I am. What are you talking about? And she said, well, so-and-so tells me that you have a warrant for your arrest, and it's all in the newspaper, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't give your new address to the authorities, and you didn't pay your fines and do what you were supposed to do.
Show up at court.
Show up in court. And I didn't even know I had a court date, but hello. Anyway. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. We get home from that drive, and I find out that this is true, and I'm freaking out. So this was on a Thursday, and I talked to her most of the night on Thursday night, and we do some bonding. And on Friday, I called the detective that's in charge, and I said, hey, I didn't even know I had a court date. It is what it is. So what do I need to do? He says, well, you need to come down and you need to turn yourself in. And let's just do this on Monday. You can have the weekend to get rid of your affairs, and let's just do this on Monday. And I was like, okay. So I took the weekend, and, we cleaned the house because it's only going to be a couple days, right? So I cleaned the house, and we watched the fire. Me and Cameron spent Sunday on the deck watching the fireworks. And I can remember it was me and him by ourselves, and I was hugging him and I was holding him, and I said, Mommy has to be gone for a few days, but I'll be right back. And it's, he didn't care. He was 5 or 4. He didn't give a shit. And but I was holding him, really holding him. And, at that age, you just don't want to be away from him. And I'm talking to the girls and saying I'm going to be gone for a couple days, and it's not that big of a deal, and it wasn't. And I just got the house together because, you don't trust the guys to take care of things. And so I got all the laundry done and did everything. It's the truth. And so we go down on Monday morning, and I get in there, and Lee writes the detective a letter and says, hey, this is what we're doing. And we handed him a business card, and we're starting this business, and this is the type of person she is. And he's like, let's not worry about this. I'm going to get you into court the next day. Everything's going to be fine and wonderful. Just sign this paper. Sign the paper. And he didn't even let me say goodbye to you, did he?
Nope.
No. And they do the whole deal, and they take me in the back, and Lee's out front. And he came out and did tell you that...
He came out and said, we're going to be keeping her until our court date.
Yeah.
Okay,
which was the next day, probably.
Well, wait a minute. I said, so can I post something? What am I going to do? Well, she's got to go to court, and then we'll go from there.
He'll set her bond from there.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm leaving completely thinking, because they're saying she's not coming back out. And I'm thinking,
I didn't
what
rob a
just
bank.
happened?
I didn't rob a bank. I didn't embezzle any money. It's not a drug charge. I didn't murder anybody. This is like a simple
No, there was nothing simple about it.
violation.
It was the end of the year, whatever. I don't know what the hell this was.
But
it was
October,
almost.
almost election time.
It was October, and I know that.
October
But anyway,
3rd to be exact.
make a long story short, here I am driving away from thinking that we were just going to go there, and she might have to stay there. But now the way he made it sound is, you don't know when she's coming back. So I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah. So I'm getting booked, and the guy tells the guy in the jail part of it, the corrections officer, hey, let's get her on the docket as soon as possible. I promised her this. Let's get her taken care of. And he was like, well, that judge doesn't have a docket till like next Monday. So I'm freaking out. I was like, there's nothing we can do. And the detective leaves, and he's done. He's completely done with me. He has nothing else to do. He's done his job. It's over. I'm in the hands of these morons. So I go back there. They dress me all out. They shove me in this pod with all these people. And I call Lee and I say, I don't know what the hell is going on. They're saying this judge doesn't have a docket for another week. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do. There's absolutely, he didn't put a bond or anything. The judge is going to set that when I go to court. I don't know if I'm just going to be able to pay this fine to do what I got to do. And then when this is over, I'll just be home. Okay, we can handle this week. We can do this.
We got this.
And
I was like, I'll get Cameron. I'll take care of everything. We'll be good.
He's telling me, don't worry about anything. I've got you. Everything is fine here. Everything's great. What do you need? Just don't worry. I'm not abandoning you. And the only thing that was going through my head is he's going to abandon me. He's going to abandon me. He's going to abandon me. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose everything. It was a horrible feeling. But however, when I talked to him and I heard his voice, it was different. When I went and laid in the bed at night, some type of calm feeling came over me. I felt him. He was holding me. He had his arms around me. I could smell him. I could feel him. He was right there with me. And he would tell me when I talked to him on the phone, I'm right there with you. I'm not leaving you. I'm right there with you. Everything's fine. Don't worry about anything. Of course, I'm going to worry about things. But he was so reassuring to me. And I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and my youngest daughter and my oldest daughter. I was talking to my son, and Cameron was on the phone. When are you coming home? When are you coming home? I'm like, look, I'm going to handle this. It was crazy. That was the longest week ever. He came to see me, and it was beautiful. And he kept telling me not to worry about anything, and he was right there with me. And I would be home soon, and everything was fine. And every night when I laid down, I felt him.
I wasn't going.
I felt him every night when I laid down.
And the dreams became our home.
Yeah, they did. We met each other in our dreams.
We talked a lot. And I would take her energy and I would give it to her kids.
Mm-hmm. I went to court, and he set my court date for 30 days out.
No. He set it up for 2 months out.
60 days out.
It was 60 days.
He gave me like a $50,000 bond, some crazy thing, because I had murdered 12 people. Y'all know how the system is. We couldn't afford that. We didn't know what to do. We couldn't, with every family member putting in money, couldn't afford to get me out.
So we all started writing letters.
Everybody wrote letters. 2 months later, my court date wasn't until December. What the hell was I going to do? My baby was at home. Cameron was 4. He had never been without me.
And he still wasn't.
And I was so sick. I didn't know what to do. And this guy right here kept telling me over the phone, "We got this. We got this. It doesn't matter. We've got this. This is what's supposed to happen. Let what is going to happen happen. Everything will be fine. You'll be home before Christmas. Everything will work out great." All I could do was call him 2 or 3 times a day. All I could do was call him, and uh, and talk to Cameron on the phone, and talk to my kids on the phone, and talk to him. And I would talk to him, and I would cry to him. "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening." And he would just continue to reassure me. And then my court date came. We'll
Well,
talk about this later.
yeah. We love you guys. Thank you. We know that there's a deeper amount of suffering when it comes to all things pain. What we're trying to do is free you from it. Because sometimes when you're imprisoned, you truly are imprisoned, even without being behind bars. And even when you are. But what is that trying to tell you?
I will tell them this. I talked to Ron a lot. When he was over here, he would put him on the phone. I talked to my mother and I talked to my sister. And when I got up for court that day, I was so excited. I was ready to go. And when I walked into the courtroom, Ron couldn't make it because he had to work. But Lee was there. My sister was there and my mother was there.
And your daughter.
And my daughter, my oldest daughter, who had just healed from her car wreck.
Yeah.
Right? So, wow. My daughter got up and made the judge cry.
Yeah.
Had told the judge that I was there for her and she almost died and she needed her mother. And it was quite an emotional experience. Quite an emotional experience.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you guys soon.
We love you. Oh, Trevor.
Stop throwing up signs. Bye, guys.